right before we do this. Okay. Now, I'm probably gonna have to do this manually, since I don't know if it's gonna... Oh no, it tweeted. Okay. I wasn't so sure it was gonna. Okay, I think we have the things. Okay, so it's art day. How is everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing good. We're not doing too bad time-wise on this project. We've had others that have taken a little bit longer. I did get that speed felt from the last one finally finished and posted. So that's up on the YouTube channel and is in the appropriate playlist, and it should be in its appropriate position. It should be at the end of the individual parts of that project. Alright, so when we last left off, we were trying to make a cabin. Is what we were doing. Are we gonna be successful? I don't know yet. Just don't know. We're definitely trying. That's for sure. Definitely trying. Alright, I don't know if I need those just yet. Okay. So, we're gonna jump in because it's gonna be a busy day. Just try to get those little unruly ends tucked in as much as I can. Alright, so we're just gonna kind of jump back in here. We're gonna put the side shed together, and I'm not even sure why we had to put the lines sideways on here if we were gonna come back in and add this. This seems a little silly, but we'll do what Bob did. Kind of doing what we're sort of told. Excuse me. I have not been up and talking that long today, and I've done a lot of talking in the past few days, so we're slowly making progress on that zoo, though I think we might have to do another zoo stream later tonight. We will see how that goes. We'll see how time goes tonight. I have an article I have to write before I go to bed at some point tonight. Or at least post in an article format the information that somebody gave me. Alright. It's kind of filling in there. I don't know if we're really even going to be able to see this that much. But we'll try. Now, I didn't go as early today as I have the past couple of Saturday or Sundays because I was actually sleeping. So I was like, the past 2 days I had like 4 hours each, roughly. I thought I was awake at like 9:30, 10 o'clock, but I was like, no, I can't do another 4-hour sleep day. Please. So, I did actually manage to fall back asleep after we figured out what was going on with the parental schedules, or the husband did, and then I could sleep. Because we're actually under a winter storm watch. Hey, when you get up, again, do you think I could have some tea?
Yeah, give me a minute.
I know you're in the middle of something, so. Throat feels extra thick right now. Okay. Got a lot of fiber tucked into that spot there. Alright. So. I mean, I know I need to farm him out to get another token for March, but I'm just like, ugh. I don't know if I'm feeling it. But I at least would like to have a month in reserve. I don't know. We'll see how I feel about it later today. I might change my mind. Alright, so I'm not going to worry too much if I have any thin spots or splits down under the cabin, because we still have to fill all that in. So, not a huge deal. So you can kind of see. I'm gonna turn that light that way. It's kind of in my eyes. I got enough lights in my eyes right now. As it is the super bright light I've got bouncing off the wall just to diffuse it a little bit so the camera doesn't get too angry. But, I mean, you can kind of see a dark shape filling in here. Kinda. Our little shed space. And then we're gonna have to kind of do like wood grain. I think he did it like up and down just to distinguish the difference in there. It's a little lumpy at the moment, but that's all right. See if we can get that even. Oh, careful. Don't be stabbing stuff that you don't want to be stabbing. Alright. So, let's put in the other corner of our roof support here. So I hope you guys are enjoying the build off between the husband and I. I'm sorry he didn't build this weekend, but he had like a 24-hour stomach bug and it was not fun. He was actually afraid he gave it to me this morning. I'm like, no, I think I'm okay. Or it's just not affecting me as badly. I'm like, I seem to be okay. All right. Oh, Mingos. It's a Zortles. Hello, Zorts. Thanks for the resub. Appreciate it. And I do apologize for so many Planet Zoo live streams the past, well, I guess over the past couple of days, but my ass is really behind because I build so much slower. But like I said last night, mine looks pretty and his is a hole in the ground, so I'm actually trying to prettify things as we go. So how are you, sir? How is today treating you? So glad I got that video done. Now I have to start downloading this project. I always say I'm gonna work on it as I get the videos done, or as I get the live streams done, and then I never do. And I wait till the end, and then I'm like, oh, I've got so much to edit. But I'm always afraid that Adobe's gonna corrupt something if I leave a project in editing progress for that amount of time. Adobe's done some things to me over the years. And then I would have to start all over, and I'm just like, I don't know about this. As is, I need to go in and wipe my portable. You're alright? You're just popping in for you have to go to work? Alright. Nothing wrong with the Zoo Planet. The stoofs, yeah. I mean, I was having some fun building. So, trying to out-pretty the husband zoo. I hope you have a good night at work. We're under a winter storm watch for Tuesday into Wednesday, so I don't know if you're going to get a piece of that or not. Maybe Wednesday into Thursday. It depends on how far north it drifts, but they're like warning everybody now, travel will be hazardous. I'm like, yeah, it will. Because it's going to start out as rain and then switch to snow, and they're like, this switch over is going to be quick. And I'm like, oh shit. And they don't really, like, they might pre-treat the interstate. Our town doesn't pre-treat dick. So, which is amazing considering how many hills there are. So you be careful. Because our neck of the woods is gonna get something here Tuesday. It was snowing like hell this morning. The drive home from work was on, oh god. Oh, you know what? I do think I saw that up there. That was that mess that was in Kansas probably yesterday afternoon that I saw drifting. I thought we were going to get a piece of it last night, and we never did. I kept waiting for it, never got it. I think it went north. I don't mind looking at snow. I do mind having to get shit done in it, though, because it just... Unless it's an area that knows their snow and knows how to pre-treat the roads and stuff. At least we've got 2 new tires on the car. We need to get 2 more, honestly, and we need brake work done badly. But, they had all 4 of our tires marked as red in our maintenance, and we're like, oh shit. So mother-in-law bought 2 new tires for the car, for the front, because I think our car's front wheel drive. I thought it was rear wheel drive, but Russell said it was front. Alright. Well, at least, you know, hopefully your drive to work this evening is not going to be too bad. Although things might have gotten icy, I don't know. Just be careful. Alright. I know, I'm enjoying the Husband and I's Planet Zoo series. Husband changed his name on... Oh, good. Husband changed his name on Twitch. Husband is now being known as Mr. Nisey. So if you see that pop up in your chats, it's the husband. Taco dubbed him Mr. Nisey. He's now Mr. Nisey in Discord as well. So everybody can blame Taco for that. He's like, I have been dubbed Mr. Nisey, I might as well roll with it. He might be starting to stream soon, or trying to stream on his own channel. He's been working on trying to figure out emotes and banner art and stuff, and offline art and things. So maybe, he's still not sure yet, but I'm like, oh, come on. You had people following my channel for you playing, so come on. At least give it a try. You don't like it or you can't do it, it's not a big deal. But it would give you something to do. Hey, Mrs. Rock Guru. So yes, he is and has been dubbed Mr. Nisey. Well, actually, Zortz, in your if he's in your Discord, he might still be Mr. Bright. But he changed his nickname in the Wild Challenges Discord to Mr. Nisey. I'm not sure what he's showing as. If he's in your Discord, I can't remember. Not sure. How are you, Mrs. Rock Guru? Hope all is well. Still can't believe Stir hit 70 in a week. In a week and a day. On a contest pacifist. That was crazy. Absolutely crazy. I have Stir's write-up info. That's the article I have to do in a little bit. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna do the prep work for, or finish the prep work for Lunar while I'm in there, or if I'm just gonna wait until Tuesday. I don't know. I mean, I'll have time to do it Tuesday. I kind of want to see what Wowhead's gonna say about it if they post their update on time. They've been really lax with the holiday updates in the past like a year and a half, so it's been kind of frustrating getting the info from their articles because they wait a few days and I don't have time to be digging through test ROM and all that. Friends, yeah, like on regular Discord, he's still Mr. Bright. I know he changed his nickname in the WoW Challenges Discord to Mr. Nisey. So since he's gonna stream under Mr. Nisey, I think Lita already changed the outro, or the thank you, the final thank yous for the podcast to say Mr. Nisey, and we'll have to add that you can find him on Twitch as well as in the WoW Challenges Discord. See, you're fine. You lost your second contest tune. Killed a critter instead of picking it up. Oh, jeez. Oh my goodness. Critter things happen, unfortunately. This feels so dark, though. I think it's because we've got the navy action happening up here, and then we've got the dark brown chocolate color here. I think that's what that's all about. I think once we get some, get this filled in, so there's not quite as much bright reflecting, that will even that out. Gotta head out, have a good stream. You too, sir. Drive carefully. I'll talk to you later. I still have to get the number of pins that you want from you. So I might be starting to work on them soon. The test glue I used on the pin back worked wonderfully, so that sucker is secure and not going anywhere, so I'm happy with that. All right. So, I mean, I do have a little thin spot there, but it's not that noticeable. I don't know how noticeable it's really going to be when we start to really get in here with everything. Alrighty. So we're finally getting that last cabin wall up, so it won't be quite so drafty in here. I don't know if I need to go and check on the husband. He's been gone an awfully long time just to make tea. And I don't know where he is. I thought that's what he got up to go do. He usually just brings me the cup and the tea bag and he's like, here, figure it out, so. Oh my goodness. So I got a little bit of a later start today. A, I was sleeping, and B, I had to make our dough for dinner. We both kind of wanted pizza. Alright, so we're coming along pretty good on here. It feels weird to not be doing Planet Zoo right now, I will say. But, you know, there's only so much Planet Zooing you can take in a 72-hour period. But, we're slowly getting there. Ever so slowly. I feel bad because it takes me time to make things pretty, but I'm not going to be happy if I half-ass it. Alrighty. Work on getting this section filled out. Yeah, I've got a couple of thin spots up in here. So if it was just the one, I would have been like, meh. But there's a couple in there now, so I'm probably gonna have to put a patchy guy over that. It's a weird temperature in here. I had my little sleep shirt that I can't sleep in, so I'm using it as like an overshirt. Had that on. And it's warm, but I was getting too hot with it on. I took it off. And now I'm freezing. I still haven't fluffed more brown. I need to desperately. And this is how much brown we've got left in the bag, pre-prepped, I should say. I doubt we're gonna go through all of that for what we have remaining, but I do need to, at the very least, fluff more of this before I put you back on the yarn wall. Because right now I have all of the colors that we're currently using pulled out. I'm gonna have to go grab the yellow because I forgot to do that, although I could use some roving that I have next to me. Because I gotta get those little roving guys used up, so probably should. Work on that. Alright, hang on, let me message him because I don't know where he vanished to. And I don't know if he has his phone with him, though. Oh, he does. I know he'd put it on to charge. I wasn't sure if he still had it. Alright. We're definitely filling in that bright spot, that's for sure. We've got it a little bit thick, so it is going to take a few stabs to get that anchored. Okay, I was just worrying about you because it seemed like you were gone forever.
No. I realized as I started the water boiling that I couldn't wait for the water to finish bubbling and making squishing noises, so. Tea.
Thank you. No, you're fine. I was like...
Nope, I'm okay.
I was like, what's going on? You didn't mention going anywhere else. I'm like, did you get in the shower?
Nope.
So has this had its, it's done, right? So... Since you took the tea bag?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a hot spoon. Okay.
It's almost like you make tea with boiling water.
I know, right? Wow. Who knew?
Fucking bizarre, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
Oh, hey Zorts, hey Mr. Raccoon.
You missed Zorts. He had to leave for work.
Oh, I didn't see it. Well.
He thought it was hilarious that you're Mr. Nisey now. At least.
You know what? Everyone seemed to get a kick out of it.
At least in some circles, some areas. Your main Discord is still Mr. Bright, but... She did change the thank you.
Oh, she did? Okay.
Yeah, I saw the show notes for next week, so she sent those out. And it was changed to Mr. Nisey. We'll have to put you as Mr. Nisey on Twitch and the WoW Challenges Discord. Alrighty, get this guy tucked into here. Alright, so let me have this area to patch in, and then I've got a couple little patchy guys we gotta put up into there. The unbelievable desire to drink the tea, it's kind of like eating pizza. we can't constantly burn our mouths on our pizza because we can't wait like 5 minutes for it to cool down to a safe eating temperature, and I'm like, I want my tea, and I can feel the heat radiating off of the mug. I'm like, yeah, that'd probably not be wise, and I would like to taste my pizza tonight. Contest tune number 3, ding 10. Very nice. Congratulations. And then on Tuesday, the elders will be available, which will help with some XP right there. Very nice. I swear, just getting to level 5 is half the battle when there's no events going on. It seems like, especially as a night elf, it's a pain in the ass. Gotta run all the way over from here, although I guess if you're in the night elf starting zone, you will get some decent discovery running down to Darnassus. I suppose. Probably not nearly enough. Oh, why aren't you cutting? There we go. I just wanted to be fussy, didn't it? Just had to be fussy. Alright, so is this, what is this? I can't tell if that's gray felt coming up from underneath, or if it's white yarn that was snow put on the cabin. I'm not sure what that is. Alright, so there's the link for today's project if anybody wants to see the tutorial in full, since a lot of the time we're not really playing the tutorial. I'm either speed tapping through to visually see where he's at, and I have it muted, so, you know, trying not to get into too much trouble. Alright, so we've got that bit kind of filled in. Or at least we're trying to get it filled in. I think they could put up a real cabin wall in the time that it's going to take us to get this in. Probably. Crunch, 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 crunch. Okay, so get this all re-flattened out there. Okay, now where are we at here? I try not to get too much fluff in my tea. Let's see, are you drinkable yet? Ooh, you're very hot still. This mug is very hot. Oh, ow. Yeah, no, that's not quite cool enough yet. Shit. Burnt tongue 1, Nisey 0. I should have known with how hot that seemed to be. Okay. Well, you can definitely see that we're down to just that one little bright spot there. Okay, so get you tucked into there as best as we can. I know they're saying we're gonna get snow, but I really kind of hope we don't. They started out predicting a pretty high number. They're like 4 to 7 inches. I was like, what? Usually they're like predicting maybe 1 inch to 2 inches. They're starting out of the gate at 4 inches. This is either gonna be a full-on bust or it's gonna be more than that. And I'm just like, don't know how I feel about this one. Winter's trying to make a comeback here. We had a couple days where we were almost 70 in the past 2 weeks, so I'm just like, what in the fresh hell is happening? You just keep wanting to shine through this cabin here, sir. Like you're not taking stop it for an answer. Alright, so let's see about getting you hatched into here. Hopefully I can get that filled in. I mean, when we go to put the other colors in, probably really won't even be an issue, but I'd rather deal with it now and make sure it's not going to be an issue. Alright, just had some sections that didn't look like we were fully attached there, so just kind of went in and got that. All right. So did you submit your emotes yet or no?
No.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Really, Momo? Or am I hearing things?
Hi.
Oh no, I heard.
Hi, Stretches.
Hi, Daddy. I see you're in 7 days to
Hi.
die. That means I have to pee.
Interesting game, Daddy. It would be a shame if someone were to want to pee-pee now.
He's playing on a server, so he has a hard time being able to just
Just as
walk
my
away.
tea got drinkable, no less.
Oh, are we drinkable now? I already...
Mine is, but I left the spoon in there in the heat sink, so...
Oh, I
can't
took mine
promise
out.
on yours.
Yeah, I already tried to take a sip a few minutes ago and it like burnt the tip of my tongue. I'm like,
Stretch.
fabulous. Alright, so let's get this in here. Momo's being exceptionally cute today. He's chilling in his dog bed with his little pink puppy friend, using it as a pillow. I don't know if that was on accident or purpose, but he looked oh so cute. Okay, I think there's 2 more spots I want to put a patch in, probably here and here. I've got some navy kind of poking through over here, and I'm kind of frustrated about that, but it's probably not that huge of a deal. I'm not even sure how noticeable it is in the camera. So now it just looks like a black void to me, but again, my monitor brightness is turned down. So I'm not sure what you all are seeing. But it probably just kind of looks like a black void. We'll start to get our weathered wood in here in just a moment. So I am using the Big Twist Value yarn right now. So this chocolate color is. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
You having a cracker?
It's gonna be a cracker.
You want a cracker? Oh, a cracker. Nom, 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 nom.
I remember the one dog I had. I had to bite everything first before I gave it to him. He would not eat it, Jake.
Well, yeah, since you're the boss, Mommy.
I had to bite it before he wouldn't eat it unless I bit it first.
No, you had to have first dibs because you're the boss, Mommy.
Is that what that was?
Yes.
Which is amazing because he hardly ever listened to me, so that dog was a terror. That dog had some issues, man. He needed... Ooh, I'm bound and determined to snap this needle today. He needed some anger management classes. He was crazy with a capital C. He had definite little dog syndrome. Let's see, can I... Well, you're still pretty hot on the edge. Is this the key lime? Or the lime?
Hmm?
Is this the lime?
Yeah.
Can't taste it.
It might be fairly light. It is a larger cup than normal, and I apologize.
Yeah. That might be what it is. Just kind of tastes like hot water, to be perfectly honest.
Sorry.
It's alright. It happens. Alright, so I'm gonna grab the taupe. Now, that's what we've been using. Oh, come back here. Sorry for the slurpy tea noises. I was afraid it was going to burn my mouth. Alright. So now, we need to do our weathered wood. And we're going to start up in here. With the corner of our shed here. Or at least that's what we're trying to do. Will it work? I don't know. We will see. As always. Alright. Oh, husband's keyboard worrying. They're over there. Oh my god. I've lost my ability to say words. Okay. Warrioring. Who are you getting into a heated debate with over there?
No, I'm just typing.
Oh. The mechanical keyboard makes it sound so much angrier. Oh my goodness. Alright, so we'll stick that in there. And we'll come back in to there. Okay, we don't have to do a whole lot of these, but you know, we do need a few. As we work on getting that in. Alright. Our outdoor child visited us like what time did you go to bed? It was right after you got into bed. Like 1 a.m.? Something like that. 2? I don't know. I heard one of the cats clawing at the door and I'm like, oh my god, stop. And then we realized that the cat was outside. So afraid they're gonna claw through the old wood supports on the door that hold the glass panel in place. So it's a very old door and it's very thin glass and just like, buddy, stop. I did have a piece of cardboard taped over the bottom of the door because the glass squares go like all the way to the very bottom. But that came off. I don't know if the cats clawed it off or if the tape just let go. For duct tape, it's been really shitty sticking lately. Like my confidence in duct tape has been shooketh. Gorilla tape sticks much better. Much better. But the Gorilla tape's also a hell of a lot more expensive. At least the last time we had to buy any. I'm okay with that being a little bit more weathered at the bottom. That's fine. Okay, so we've got that going there. Alright, we still have to put that other tree in over here. You can't see it in this angle, but there is a tree here. He did the tree before he did the cabin. I'm doing the tree after the cabin because I want the tree to sit in front of it. That's just a personal choice there. If you wanted to do the tree first, then by all means. Where's my mouse? So I hope everybody's having a good Sunday. Okay, Twitch has you listed as a moderator now. Last night it had you as a viewer, but you still had mod permissions. I was like, what is happening? I guess it was because you had just changed your name and it hadn't been 24 hours yet. I don't know. Alright, well he's kind of taking shape here. He's getting there. Looking at that in the camera. I was worried the point wasn't going to convey with all the brown here, but I didn't really have a different shade of brown to use on this section. I didn't want to use too light of a brown. I guess it would have looked funny if I had used a different brown though. Right now it just kind of looks like a porch. Oh goodness. Oh, there goes my eye again. Yay. I think it's like a pinched nerve or something. At least I can still function with it. Alright, so we'll work on getting you tucked into there. And then I think maybe one or two more in this section before we pop over to there. Oh, maybe one more. All right. Why did you type okay?
Oh, I was testing it.
Okay. Yeah, like last night when you did your test text, it said you were a moderator, but you weren't listed as a moderator in the chat. It had you just listed as a viewer. There's a little bit of the lime. I don't know, Twitch has been twitching lately. Some things have just been a little bit borky. At least the flamingo worked. I heard the sound. I didn't look at the screen, but I heard the sound. So I imagine the visual went off too. Alright, you're a little guy. I'm gonna stick you over there. Okay. Now. Now we need to do something about this dark void over here. Alright, let's see if we can get this going. So he went sideways on this. We're gonna need some more taupe pulled out. And this is also in the big twist line. So do we need to be like this or do we need to be like this? I think we should be straight. No, he might be a little. He might be a little crooked. I don't know. I can't tell. It's kind of hard to tell from the angle. That he's on, because they've got this on a 3/4 view. Even even, I mean, that's kind of, I don't know. We're doing this. But, I mean, the angles are all off just a little bit because, you know, it's still fiber. Not as precise as drawing and painting. I mean, you can draw it out as much as you want, but when you get down in there, sometimes the fiber's going to do what the fiber's going to do. All right. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to set that down quite so heavy. It is a big mug. It's the Mingo mug. Mingo's back. Oh, I can't really see him. There he is. Mingo's back. I got that mug at the Tulsa Zoo. I have a plush flamingo I got there too. I can't remember if there were any flamingo plushes when we were at SeaWorld. I don't know if I looked for any.
I don't think we looked.
Yeah. You know what that means.
Next time we go there, it's going to be time to look again.
Yep. Although, I'm sure they have a website. But I also want to go to Zoo Tampa and Clearwater Aquarium. Those are on the bucket list of places to hit. Possible places to hit the next time we are back out that way. Or back down that way, I should say. So I have no idea if my brother's actually going to send these shoes. But I'm still really suspicious over this. It just seems odd to me. He might be sending them more for my mom than me. I don't know. It's just very odd. Considering I haven't spoken to this brother in probably 10 years. They just never seemed like the acknowledgement of a sibling type of person. But I also find it very odd that he's running a flea market booth. Anybody that knows him would find this odd. I'm not saying it's odd to run one, I'm saying for him to run one. It's odd, unless he's making bank on it. With tourists, who the fuck knows? I thought he still had his security camera business going, but maybe not. I actually didn't look up to see if they're running in Florida. Probably should. Let go. We cannot do this if you don't let go of my fingers. I know it's scary fiber, but trust me, now you're in a piece of art. And you will look oh so pretty. And it'll be wonderful. Granted, I am stabbing you to get you in here. But it could be worse, I suppose. Okay, and that tucked in there. So yeah, I mean we're taking shape now. We're not quite such a dark black void. You can actually kind of see a color differential between this side and this side. Now that we've got some more color happening here. So I think I might fill in the hill before I place that tree there. Is what I'm thinking. But we still have a little bit of fussing on this guy before we move on to that. Because I know there's 2 windows that we have to where are you going? There we go. Did not want to stay where I was putting it. Alright. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to come back later tonight to do another zoo if the boys aren't doing anything. They might be doing something tonight, though. It depends on if Tyler's working tonight. Which I don't know if he is. But it might not be till... Let's see, what time is it now? It's almost 5. We'll probably make dinner around 6:30. $7:30. Might not be till maybe 10-ish. Maybe closer to 11 if I make it back tonight. Because I need to make our dinner. Then I have to do dishes. Because I just didn't have the will to do them yesterday. And then I have an article I have to post, so it might not be till about 10 or 11. Depends on how long things and stuff take. Alright, I'm just gonna get a couple more in here where it looks like we could probably use a little bit. Where it looks a little thin. Well, a little thicker. Okay, where it looks like there's too much dark brown. Where it needs to be a little bit more thinned down. Hopefully that makes sense. Probably doesn't. Wording is hard sometimes. So maybe in here. And then we'll be good to go. Alright, we probably do need one more up there at the top. I was trying to get away from not doing it, but that is a large section of nothing. So we probably should have something in there. So for those that are just joining, we are needle felting along with Bob Ross in his tutorial for the Joy of Painting Season 3, Episode number 4. What's it called again? Winter Night. I did have to change some of the colors from what he's using because he used a lot of liquid black in this one, or primarily liquid black on the background, and then a lot of titanium white and other colors, and then played off of the liquid black shading it. So it was like a multitude of gray scales and things. So I'm just like, yeah, I don't think that's really gonna work for this. So we've kind of had to adjust. This is where we're at so far, and we have a cabin. We have to put windows in our cabin. So I have the tutorial muted. So if you would like to view the tutorial in its entirety, we have a paint command. There we go. And there is the link to take you to the tutorial on YouTube. Alright, now I'm just gonna kind of speed advance this since we have it muted. Okay, he like put in a window, but then he put yellow over top of it. Okay. So I'm not happy with the camera angle this season, or at least on this one. It's been kind of a pain in the ass. Alright, so let me see. I've got some of these little roving guys still next to me. That will probably do. There's a bunch of different colors that I got from Amazon. I'm trying to use these guys up. The problem was there just wasn't enough of these guys to do like more than one project for what I'm doing. Unless I used like, you know, very sparingly, but if I needed like all of this to do something, you know, then I was fucked. So we've gone through a couple of the bags since we got these, but I just really don't feel like getting up to go and get the Buttercup paint box off of the wall. So, and you know, we need to use these. These are a bit of a different texture than other things. So, okay. Then the yarn. The roving's a little bit, this roving, I should say. This roving's a little bit more coarse. And a little bit more frizzy. I have some other roving that we were using during Christmas that was very soft, very smooth, and wasn't anywhere near as frizzy as these. But I also think that roving was probably out of my price range. The only reason I ended up with it was because one of the other mods in the WoW Challenge community had gotten it for a project and then realized that it wasn't quite what they needed, and they asked me if I wanted it. And I was like, well, if you're not going to use it and you can't return it, then yeah, I'll take it. I'll find something to do with it. So we've been using it for cores on figurines or base coats on them, and then coming back in with the actual yarn and stuff to do final coat and color passes and stuff. So alright, so our window's a little sunk in at the moment. That's gonna happen when you've got this many fiber layers. And one thing I hate about this particular roving is there's like coarse hairs or plant fiber or something that's just randomly shows up in it as you're working on it. So it's kind of like, what the heck? Alright, just kind of trying to fill in our square here. And I put that brown back up and I still need it. Dang it. Alright, I'm just trying to get a good color pass on this. Make sure we're not too thin. So we're sinking further in because there's a lot of layers of fiber going on here. We're gonna pop up off of the mat here in a minute. And just try to smooth that down here. Let's see if I need to do another pass. Alright, let me dematify you. Alright, you don't have to do this step. This is just a step I do. I find that the front tends to sit a little bit better. I also have a shit ton of fiber attaching itself to this mat. This mat's about a year old and probably really wasn't meant for what I'm doing with it, so, but I can't stand the foam as an underbase. It's too scritchy, like kind of like nails on a chalkboard for me, so this works out better. So see, we're not quite so sunk in now. All right, so we got to get another window in there. Okay. Just gonna try to curl up the little flyaways on the very end here. Just makes things a little bit more manageable when I need to try to get a precise shape. Kind of think like logs from Play-Doh or whatever clay you're using. So where are we sitting with you? Maybe here? And then we'll, oh goodness, these windows are not at the same heights. Fuck. Shit. Can I? Oof. Okay, I didn't think I was gonna be able to pull that up. We weren't quite past the point of we live here now, so let me see if we can try that again. Alright, so I want to be on this line. Like, it was just below enough where it was definitely noticeable. Now, they don't necessarily have to be the same size up here. Like, not necessarily. Let's just kind of fill this guy in. I swear I'm using this and it keeps looking like it's bent, but it's not. I keep thinking, what did I do? Alright, let me pop you up temporarily. It's so bright on this background here. I would not suggest having an open drink this close to your fiber, because you're likely to get fiber in it. It's just I've got nowhere else to go with this guy right now, and I didn't have a cup that had a lid. But I definitely needed some tea. Okay. Tell you, I'm looking forward to dinner tonight. Been wanting pizza for a couple of days. We used to do the frozen pizzas so we could do them a little more often, but then they weren't tasting worth the price. Like, the one that we were getting, they changed the something on it and it just didn't taste the same, and it's like, if I'm not enjoying this, why am I paying for this? And then it was just cheaper. Well, I don't know if it's really cheaper, but it just worked out better for us to just make the crust on our own. And then when I make spaghetti sauce, we just freeze that into like pizza sauce size containers, like about how much we use on our pizzas. And then we have enough sauce in the freezer for pizza throughout the month. I guess it is more expensive than just buying it, but there's just not that many good frozen pizzas that we like, that we think are good. We're a little pizza snobby because
What's more expensive?
it's probably a little more expensive to make our own.
Absolutely not.
Well, it depends. I mean,
No, even if we went with fucking Tony's, it still wouldn't be cheaper. Not for the volume we get for the materials.
maybe. I don't know.
If you want, I can show you the math later.
'Cause cheese is kind of expensive, and I swear they made the package smaller.
They might have.
We used to get a lot more cheese out of those
I noticed
packages.
that the bags I have right now for the freezer are bigger. They are actually larger bags. Like, they have a gusset at the bottom and shit. So I'm not sure how I ended up with bigger bags, but that might be part of it.
Maybe. I don't know. I guess it would really depend on how much bread flour we go through in a month. Although it also depends on how pizza heavy that month was.
Oh wait, you can't measure by the month though, because that varies. You have to measure by the food produced.
Well, I'm just thinking, you know, if you went with like we were getting the Sam's Club pizza, which was like what, $4?
At the time, it was like $4.
Yeah. I mean, now it might be cheaper just to make our own, but they changed that and it doesn't taste the same anymore, which is why I think we stopped getting it.
Oh, I mean, we stopped getting it because we can make better now.
Yeah, true.
And it doesn't take all that much effort because of the stand mixer. It just takes time.
We are still a little bit of pizza snobs, though, because of where we grew up. If you hear a high-pitched, loud female voice in the background, that is my mother-in-law. I think Russell already told her that I was going to be streaming today. And she tries to be as loud as humanly possible when entering any room. So I apologize. I have no control over her. He just tried to go intercept her, because even he could hear her. So, apologies. She is here in the house for the next couple of weeks. Until my aunt, oh, not my aunt, well, I guess my aunt-in-law, till Russell's aunt, gets her taxes sorted before they can head out on the road again. So we'll get that snipped in. I mean, one good thing about making your own pizza is you can do whatever toppings you really want on it and really customize it. Although the more at-home customizing you do, the more expensive it gets. That is true. I did not realize quite how hungry I was yesterday until after the podcast. And I'm like, oh, my stomach's growling. I was like, oh, I've been up since like 12:30 in the afternoon, and it's 7:30 now, and I have not eaten anything. I had a soda, literally a soda. That was it. I was like, I need to go find food. Like, now. I must eat now. I had thought about eating a yogurt in between the end of the Planet Zoo stream and the podcast. And then I got busy doing State of the Challenges. And State of the Challenges took me about 40 minutes roughly to put into the show notes. So by the time I got done, I'm like, I don't have time to eat this now. Okay. But we might be, well, I don't know if we're done with that color yet. I might need some of it still. Okay, so let's re-smooth out this. Again, you don't have to do this step. It is just a thing I do. Okay, so this is where we're sitting so far. That doesn't look too bad. Okay. So, let me advance the tutorial a little bit. We still have to do this tree, but I think I want to do this before I come back in and do that. See what I mean? The angle on this season, or at least this one, not good. And I think it's because of it being so dark. Maybe the camera was having trouble, or maybe the light was glaring off of it too much, or maybe they were just trying something new. Did not enjoy this camera angle at all. Like, if we can do this, why couldn't we do that for the whole thing? Okay, so we're gonna need to put in our blue, right? So then we can do our snow and stuff. I'm not done with you yet, so you get to hang out there. So let's see, where is our... oh, it's over here. I'm like, it's not hanging up next to me, and I know for a fact I didn't put this back up on the wall. So, alright. So, let's get back to work in here. Laying in the rest of our snowy land angles. Well, the angles for the land, so we can add the snow, really. Alright, so let's see, where do we... Okay, so maybe we start, like, up in here? Oh, you know what? I know what we're gonna do. I know what we're gonna do. Just to make this a little bit easier for me. Let me grab this guy. Let me try to snake him a little bit. So, let's see, can we see? Alright. So I'm gonna put the edge of our the bottom of our hill in here, at least roughly. It doesn't have to be perfect at this stage, because this is going to be something else. We might go back and grab that dark brown and maybe fill that in down in there. Just to kind of add some dirt and stuff into the pathway. Right, this is just going to be super, super unprecise for what we're doing at the moment. And that's fine. I do need to be a little bit more precise, though, along this bottom edge here. This is one of the edges that we're trying to keep somewhat straight and clean. I know this one got a little bowed out just a little bit, but that's not too bad. And we should be able to clean that up with some scissors without too much trouble. And I know it's gonna happen where it gets stretched at times. But this side we've done really well at trying to keep pretty dead on our pen line here. So I just used, this is a 9x12 pre-cut sheet of felt. This felt came from Joann Fabrics. I decided to go with a neutral gray just to see how it was going to go. And I am liking this larger, properly sized felt sheet. The other sheets of felt that I've been struggling with on the previous couple of tutorials have not been correctly sized. So this inner square is 8x10. I took out the paper backing from a 8x10 photo frame, and or maybe the backing of it, and just kind of traced around it. So I'm just getting this guy a little bit more manageable here. Well, as manageable as we can, given the circumstances. Sorry, that spot looked a little fuzzy. All right. So Russell still hasn't come back yet, so I wonder if he caught shenanigans happening with the parentals making dinner, because it sounds like he's supervising what they're doing. Because my dad's still on restricted salt. Probably will be because of the things and stuff going on with him. So what are they doing? Because I hear you.
Hot dogs and beans.
I hear you supervising.
For being a terrible fucking cook. Yes. Hey, did you know you're apparently supposed to rinse your beans? I mean, not your beans, your bananas.
Huh?
Apparently, you're supposed to rinse your bananas according to your mom.
Before you
you peel and eat them, you're supposed to rinse your bananas.
But you don't eat the skin.
That's what I said. Well, you see, there could be all sorts of spiders on it or germs. The things that she thinks about food.
Did she rinse her can of beans before she opened
Nope.
it? Did you point this out?
Didn't even bother.
I woulda.
Nope. Not worth it.
I woulda, but I'm a shit sometimes, so. I mean, apples I get because you're eating the skin. Like any kind of,
That's what I said.
any fruit that, or vegetable that you're eating the skin on, I get that. I mean, I'll even do carrots even if I peel them though. But carrots are a little different. They get a little extra dirty from.
Well, that will say that carrots actually come out of the ground. So.
Yeah, it's because those are a little different. But okay, sure. Does anybody else do that? Do you guys rinse your bananas before you eat them? Is Is this a legit thing that just the husband and I didn't know about? I've never, ever heard anyone going on about rinsing the banana. Why is she having a banana now? They're making dinner.
She's not. It came up because she dripped hot dog juice on banana.
Well, I mean, that's different.
I pointed out how disgusting that is. She says, well, you're supposed to rinse it anyhow.
Okay, that doesn't mean that it's okay to drip the... Alright. Oh boy. It's gonna be an evening in this house. I can feel it already.
They're busy with football. You'll be fine.
So, was your mom being obnoxiously loud on purpose?
No, she didn't realize you were alive because you did leave the lights on all this time.
Yeah, I keep forgetting to turn them off, but I have been going live pretty steadily the past 2 days.
You've been leaving on 24/7 for like weeks now.
I thought you had told her that I was going.
She's not going to remember. Again, she learned the visual cue, but now you're not using it.
Okay. We'll have to make sure that we unplug them in a little bit. I got so used to her not being here. So I am gonna miss you sleeping out here when she goes.
Sorry.
But cat sanity needs to be thought of as well, so. Let's see, that kind of bowed in a little bit. Not too much. But it did come in just a little. Alright. Think I see what went wrong. Alright, so they're in the process of cooking. Okay, just trying to figure out when they'll be approximately done. Is my dough actually still in the microwave?
It's currently in the oven.
They're not using the oven, right?
No.
Okay. Because I just didn't want your mom to decide that she was going to heat something up, considering there's a towel over top of it. I forgot we need to be diagonal. All my pen lines of coming down have kind of faded. Or got rubbed off or whatever. That probably should have been a little bit steeper. That's alright. Okay. So, we're gonna try to work the angles on this one. At least in the section. Hey Annette, you've never heard of rinsing bananas.
Yeah, we didn't either.
Okay. I was gonna say, you know, if this is a legit thing, then I'll not be so weird about it, but I've never ever heard of this. And I'm like, I've made it this far in life and never heard that you're supposed to rinse a banana. I don't eat that many bananas, but never heard of this being a thing. I mean, if they were coming off our own banana tree, I might, but these came from the grocery store. My mom is very... I don't know what word to use for this. Peculiar, perhaps? In what she decides to do and not do, but what is she? 80, almost 80, over 80? I can't remember. So, okay. Maybe not quite 80. Can't remember. I have a hard enough time keeping track of my own birthday. Alright. Maybe that was something you had to do in previous generations? I don't know. So how goes your contest character? Are you still plugging away? I know Star hit 70, but there's still other stuff up for grabs. I will have Star's write-up posted later tonight after dinner. Alright, so I'm kind of trying to follow our line here. This might supposed to be a little bit more. I thought that was you. And then Lita made me doubt what I was thinking, because I was like, no, I thought we talked about this. Damn, you guys are beasts. In a good way. In a good way. Don't take it the wrong way. I mean it with all sorts of love and stuff. It's like, wow. You've definitely been giving them a run for your money. Or their money. Considering that you didn't even start right when everybody else did. Yeah, no, keep going. There's still prizes up for grabs for second and third. I want to see how many people actually manage to hit 70 before or by next Saturday. That'll be fascinating. Yeah, no, I thought that was what you had said you had named your character, and then I was like, oh, I know who that is, and then I was like, I'm pretty sure I know who that is. And Lita's like, I don't know. She's like, I think I know who it is, and I'm like, no, I think I know who it is. And she goes, well, they're EU. And then I second guessed myself, and I'm like, no, wait, I think they might be EU. So, but no, I was right. Hi, puppy. Oh, that's right. That's the one we can't talk to. There was nothing good in the dog food bowl, so he walked away. He must be hungry. He's getting excited because my mom's in the kitchen making dinner. So he's prancing back and forth between his dog bed. And then he had to check his dog food bowl. Actually, he checked the group dog food bowl. And looked at it very thoroughly. Looked at the water bowl very thoroughly. Looked back at the dog food bowl. And was like, he was mulling it over. I think he decided to wait to see what my mom was making, if there was going to be anything for him. But yeah, and so you were hoping to catch them, and you saw the WOD today, so she was on the right track with the no kind of name. Oh, the VOD today. And your first pacifist max is no harm. That's right. Yes. That's right. So I don't know if she was thinking that we were both, I don't know if we were both thinking the same thing, but I think I was gonna tell her who I thought it was when we were discussing after show things, and I kind of forgot. We got distracted talking about something else. Not sure if that was a stray piece of white fluff or if that was a cat hair. But you might as well just we'll just pull that guy out of there. Alright, so I'm changing, well, I'm trying to. I don't know how successful we're gonna be. I'm trying to change an angle here. That's what this mess up here is at the moment. I guess we decided we were too starving Marvin to wait for other things to come. So we are back in the group bowl of sharing. I can't get too specific or he's gonna get weird and walk away. It's like one of those things where you have to spell someplace, kind of like with a toddler, because you know if you say the word out loud. that there's no going back. Oh, thank you. I mean, this one's looking better than I thought it would. I was really unsure about how this guy was gonna go. Really unsure. Alright, but I did get the other speed felt. I guess technically it's painting. It always throws me when people talk about painting with like pastels, and I'm like, but it's pastel. So do speed pastel. It's like, we're gonna be painting, and I'm like, okay, that just always trips me up, but that's more of a me issue than anything. But yeah, like, we can't say one word that begins with a P and ends with a K, because if we say it and don't deliver, like, we could be talking about something else entirely and had no intention of going there that day with them. They will give us holy hell. It's like, you said the word, and I'm like, oh, not in that context. And we can't do that today. It's pouring rain. It's not gonna happen. You said the word. And then I either have to distract them and hope they forget with goodies, or I'm like, well, we can't do that today. Maybe you can take this peace offering and maybe we can go a different day. But now it's gotten to the point where they've learned what those 4 letters spell. Yeah, what those 4 letters spell. So now I've had to shorten it to 3 letters and leave off the first letter and hope that they're not paying attention to what I'm saying. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Although I think before he hurt his back, we were going a little more regularly. He was starting to catch on to the 3 letters, and I was like, oh shit. We're gonna be down to like code words soon. Like, damn. Because there were 2 different ones. There's one that's more of just like a walking track that's flat, that's near the public pool. Amazes me this town has a public pool. They do. that kind of loops around the Little League baseball fields. Or there's a state park that's a little bit closer, but there's like historic buildings from the area that they moved there and stuff. It was like sitting on a battlefield and things from the Civil War, and dogs are allowed there as long as they're leashed. Although some idiots think that if they're walking on the trail that's cutting through, it's a paved trail, by the way, it's not like you're off-roading, it's a very hilly trail, and there's deer and things that live along the pathways and in the bits of wood that still exist back there. Some idiots think that because they're walking on these, that they can take their dogs off the leash, and I'm like, that's a hard no. That leash requirement is for actually there's a leash law for the city and a leash law in the park, and they can kick you out because that's a safety issue. Because you don't know if your dog is suddenly gonna not like someone else's dog, and then we're gonna have a problem. Especially when I can see how well your dog is minding you as you're calling for it to come back as it's running to the edge of the woods and totally ignoring you. So, like, we used to let our guys out right next to us in the backyard without their leashes on after we had worked really hard at trying to keep them focused on us. And I was still kind of nervous because I really don't trust them to listen 100% of the time, because in my brain there's always going to be that one thing, that one stimulant that's going to override everything, because our yard's not fenced in at all. Russell trusted them a little bit more than I did. And the one day, the neighbor across the one side street that we kind of can see, there's like a house in between us and the side street, and they don't have a fence on their yard either, so we can just walk across their backyard into the side street. The neighbor, I think, was bringing out their basset hounds to put them in the backyard, or they had just stepped outside, and Zuzu and Momo were like, new friends, and took off, and Russell barely got them to stop before the side street. It took a hell of a lot longer for them to defocus on that, and I'm like, nope, that's it, no more. So they lost their off the leash privileges, and now Zuzu's just a stubborn dick. So we don't know if it's old age and he's not hearing us all of the time, or if he's just choosing to ignore us because we don't have food. So like, I will call him from the other room, and he will just flat up ignore me. But if I'm like, hey, I've got this, then he comes running. So yeah, it's like, I mean, these guys are like, you could punt them across the street. They're so small. We don't do that. I'm just saying. They're like 20 pounds. Momo's back comes up to the bottom of my knee. He's taller than his brother, even though they were litter mates. Zuzu's back comes up to like my mid-shin. But it's like, Russell's like, I think he's losing his hearing. I'm like, no, he's being an asshole is what he's doing. He doesn't want to come because he doesn't think I have anything. And I finally had to walk into my parents' room, and I'm like, do you really not want your dinner? I've been calling you. And he's like, food? And I'm like, you're such a dick. Get up and come get it. I'm not giving it to you on the bed. Number one, it's not your bed. That's Grammy's bed, and you're gonna make a mess in it. Like, come and get your dinner. What do you think this is, buddy? But, I mean, they were supposed to be corgi mixes. Their grandmother looked like a corgi mix. I don't even know what the fuck their mother looked like. Their mother looked more maybe dachshund with something else. Zuzu has a little bit of the corgi face shape, kind of. Like, he has like the corgi markings on his face where he's got like the white stripe like coming down to his nose, and they don't have the pointy stand-up ears. Well, Momo's once in a great while, one of Momo's ears will stand up, and it's like the cutest thing ever. But there seems to be some sort of terrier in there. We don't know where the terrier came from. We can't figure out what kind of terrier it is, but they're really more of a mutt than anything. But man, he gets the terrier stubborn in him, and he's like, no. Momo is the smarter of the two, I will say that. And Momo's very, very food oriented, or food driven, so as long as I can figure out a way to communicate to him what I want, Momo can usually figure it out. Zuzu, on the other hand, is just more excited about the potential treat coming to pay attention to what I'm asking him to do. And he'll start just giving me everything that he knows instead of the new thing I'm trying to teach him. And I'm like, that's great, buddy, but that's not what I asked you for. I'm like, slow down. This is what we're doing. He's like, I can do this. And I'm like, that's great, but we're learning something new. And I managed to teach Momo, like, we taught Momo a trick that we call foot, because he needed some sort of mental stimulation. And he was, you know, he couldn't really do his normal stuff while his back was healing. Like, I didn't want to ask him to spin or sit up and lay down and stuff, because he was just kind of chilling in his bed, and I didn't want to disrupt any healing that might have been going on. And I didn't know what he was really willing to do. And so we taught him foot, which is when he's laying down, he takes his one foot and he hits my hand, and he taps it, and I'm like, good job. And we tried to teach that to Zuzu. Momo picked it up in about 2 days, if that, maybe a day. Zuzu still hasn't figured it out, and this was like almost, what? I don't know if it's been quite a year. Zuzu's just like, no, I'll give you everything else. You can see him trying to figure it out, but like, I'll get him to lay down. I'm like, perfect, good lay, and now let's tap my hand with your foot. And he's more interested in the treat that I'm holding in my palm of my hand, and sticking his nose in there instead of touching my hand with his foot. I'm like, oh, buddy. Momo picked this up, doing this the same way, in like no time flat. He's just not, it's not gonna happen. It's just not. Alright, do we need to feed Child again? Because he was clawing at the screen again.
I don't want him to get used to the idea of being able to claw at the screen and get food, so he's gonna have to wait.
Child is getting chunky. That is the outside cat. That's not ours, but seems to think he lives here from time to time. And I can't tell if his coat just fluffed out for winter or if he's that fat, but I'm beginning to question how many other people are feeding him. And it is supposed to get cold and snow on Tuesday. But this cat that's not ours is eating us out of house and home. And if we don't feed him, he sits in front of our front door on our doormat. And if we haven't responded to him, he will sit there and antagonize the cats that can look through the glass panels on the door and see him. And he'll start laying there, taking a bath in front of them, stretching out on the doormat like he lives here. Like he's waiting for somebody to let him in. And I'm like, dude, you don't live here and you can't come in. Number one, I've seen how you've reacted to other male cats out in the wild. I'm pretty sure these guys and you would get into a horrendous fight. You're not fixed. I don't know what shots you've had, if any. He's a little flighty with us when we go to pet him at times, so I'm like, if we didn't have so many cattage already in the house, like if we didn't have any cats really, then we would think about it. But it's like, yeah, I don't know about this. He's very similar colors to what they call the school cat. Apparently there's a stray cat that hangs out down by the elementary school or something. And every so often people that work at the school will take photos of it and post on their Facebook page. And they look similar, but I think Russell pointed out a couple of minor differences, so we don't think they're the same cat. And I really don't think they are the same cat, because, yeah, but when there's something that's more interesting than us, they're like, fuck you, I'm gonna go do this, but Momo's usually a little more gun-shy near the road because he almost got hit when he was a puppy because the mother-in-law was not used to dogs being in the house, and so she was standing there like a doof with the screen door open, standing like on the porch half out the door, and Momo's like, oh, hey, what's happening? And he ducked out onto the porch and tried to run across the street, and she yelled at him, and a car almost hit him, and he like pissed himself running all the way back into the house. There was like a trail of pee. I was like, and of course I didn't know what was happening. I think I was asleep when this happened. They listened fairly good when we were on vacation with them, but they were leashed. They certainly know how to try to charm people, because a couple of the restaurants down in Key West were dog friendly. You had to sit outside, of course, but that was fine. I mean, that's half of the charm in eating down there is the outdoor restaurants. And we ended up going to Hard Rock Cafe a lot because it was like a 2-minute walk from our bed and breakfast. It was like a half block down. And one morning we were sitting there having breakfast, and they sat somebody at a table next to us, and I'm trying to keep them under the table so they're out from underfoot. And I had been giving them a bite here and there of something that was, you know, dog friendly. I think I had French toast or something. Just like plain French toast. And I had hit a lull in giving them something, or maybe we were waiting for the check or something. I don't remember. But the dude next to us got his food. And these two little bastards suddenly realized that the neighbor was eating. our neighboring table. And I don't know if he didn't notice them or if he just didn't care. But they were trying to sneak out from under our table. I had their leashes pretty short on my in my hand, because I was eating one-handed for the most part, because I didn't trust tying the leash to the table, and their leashes were a little too long for me to stick the hand loop under the chair foot. So I'm like, no, then you're gonna be tripping servers. So I kept feeling them pull, because I had the leash wrapped around my arm a couple of times. And I'm like, what are you doing? Sit down. And then I look down and I'm watching them, and they're staring at the person next to us. Watching his fork go up from his plate to his mouth. I'm like, stop it. You guys have had so much this morning. That's not nice. Where are your manners? And they're just kind of looking at me all excited. They're like, but he has food. And I'm like, I know he has food, but that's not your food. You could eat your dog food back at the hotel or the vacation rental. The bed and breakfast, well, no, I guess the vacation rental people that we used, they also have a bed and breakfast property. And both properties were pet friendly, but this one was a little bit closer to everything. We paid through the nose dearly for it. And I keep seeing them running specials on their website, and I'm like, or on Facebook, they're like, oh, check us out, book between here and here, and get a free night, or book this many nights, and get a free night, or stay between these days and get 10% off your stay. And I'm like, but you never have anything available. They're like, every time I try to find a date, the dates are always sold out. And I'm like, really? You were really expensive. Well, I found them expensive. My idea of expensive and somebody else's idea of expensive may be two totally different things. But, it wasn't a bad location. The only complaint that I think I can, well, the only two complaints I think I can really have if I really need to nitpick and find two, or find anything, is that you could hear when the person staying above you was walking. And I don't know if that was just happenstance that we happened to have a couple of people on short stays, like a night or 2 nights in the time that we were staying there, because we stayed there like a full 7-8 nights. I don't know if that was just happenstance and they happened to have like high-heeled sandals on or something, or high heels. That's kind of what it sounded like going upstairs. Because I think that unit you had to access from the back. But I couldn't figure out if the stairs were outside or inside. Those stairs might have been inside. They might have been like hardwood stairs, so we could hear that. And of course, Party Town, like, we were exhausted, so like our asses were in bed by like 9 o'clock. 10 at the latest. And you know, everybody's going out to the bars and partying, so like I would hear them like coming and going till like maybe 1 a.m. or so. Not that big of a deal, but that is something, or if it's gonna bother you, to think about. The only other thing I didn't like was that there was no hot tub. They had a pool, but they didn't have a hot tub. The pool was okay, but I would have preferred to have the hottie tubby. Even if it was just like a freestanding unit, that would have been fine. But they really didn't have room. They utilized every square inch of space they had back there. I was actually surprised there was room for a pool even in that back courtyard. But I mean, all in all, our experience wasn't too bad with them. We'd actually been thinking of trying to stay an extra night or two, but then we would have had to change properties. And it just wasn't worth it for what the price had jumped to, since it was coming into an event. a special event week, so it's like, yeah, no, we decided to stop at SeaWorld on the way home instead, because SeaWorld was having half-price ticket sales, so we got in for the price of one full ticket, which worked out. We had a good time. We both hadn't been to SeaWorld in I don't know how long. I think the last time I was at SeaWorld, I was 10. Yeah, that sounds about right. So, I mean, it was fun. We walked around, we ate some food. Realized some things that we would do a little differently if we managed to get back again. I think we would get the all-day dining plan. Because our food wasn't too bad. And we were hungry from walking around quite so much. And the hotel we stayed at was right next door, so we didn't have to even get in the car to go over. We just walked down the street a little bit, crossed it, and we were in SeaWorld's parking lot. So that was super awesome, because then we didn't have to pay for parking at SeaWorld. And our hotel room was actually pretty cheap for it being a DoubleTree. On, like, especially as a resort partner, I was expecting, at least it felt cheap compared to what we had just paid in Key West. But, it was like half the price, maybe a little less than half. 'Cause I'm like, for 3 and the dogs, it's that much? And they're like, yep. And I'm like, are you sure? It seems a little low. And they're like, nope, that's what it is. And I'm like, even with the resort fee and stuff, it wasn't that bad. Because, you know, that property had a resort fee for, you know, like, parking. Might have been part of the internet package or whatever, and I was just kind of like, okay, it was a beautiful property. They had their own, like, kind of grab-and-go plus hot bar convenience store on property, and they had the normal sundry shop, gift shop thingy. I think there was at least one other restaurant. A pool bar that also served food up to a certain time. They had all kinds of gas fire pits all over and these, like, big comfy couches. Where was it? It was SeaWorld. No, it was DoubleTree at SeaWorld, I think. Something like that. It was DoubleTree at SeaWorld. And there is a DoubleTree in Key West, but it's on the opposite side of the island. And it's kind of too far to walk from that side of the island down to where everything is. So we'd either have to take the car and park in a lot for the day, or at a meter, take a cab. Cabs weren't too expensive at the time. Or use the hotel's shuttle, but the hotel shuttle stopped like way early. I think that cut off around 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and I'm like, And Russell doesn't want to wait for a shuttle, so when he's having an anxiety moment, we need to be able to go.
Yeah, I don't trust myself to remain calm long enough.
Yeah. Or remain calm enough on the shuttle ride for them to let us back on there.
I mean, hell, things were bad enough when we were waiting for that Uber or whatever.
That did take an obsession. That was a cab. It was a regular cab. That did take an exceptionally long amount of time, and then we realized we could have probably walked back in the time it took them to come. because I thought we were further from the rental than we were, but we really weren't that bad. He like went 2-3 blocks and I'm like, oh, this is where we are. You're leaving for Disney tomorrow, coincidentally? Nice. Where are you staying? I'm just curious and being nosy. You don't have to tell me. Are you staying off-site, on-site? Let me travel through you. That's the only way I'm going anywhere anytime soon. We didn't go to Disney. We had talked about it. We did consider it, but with my neck problems, I wouldn't. Oh, ooh, Coronados. Ooh, that looks like a nice property to stay at. With my neck problems, going to Disney and not really being able to get on any rides, really. There's like maybe 4 rides I could probably, maybe 5 at the most, I could probably successfully do without causing myself more problems. We decided that it was just kind of out of budget for what we were going to get out of it. We talked about maybe doing Epcot one time, but I'm kind of on the fence about Epcot. Because from the vlogs I've seen, it always seems like it's jamming. And then I'm like, well, what's there to do? I mean, you can go to like the pavilions and stuff for each country, and that might be fun to walk around in, but it seems like you're just doing a lot of walking. I know there's like a couple of rides. There's maybe 2 of those rides that I can actually do. For me, personally, because my neck is so fucked. But Epcot's like drinking and eating around the world. Yeah. So you understand you've been planning since 2019, but you know, world and life. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And, but SeaWorld seemed to fit, what I could do easier. I mean, it was still a lot of walking, but, you know, we got to see, we saw a dolphin show that was pretty good. We didn't see the whale show because it wasn't going on at the time. Like, I think dolphin and whale was happening at the same time, and we were closer to dolphin, so we went to dolphin. We're talking about trying to make the whale one, but the next one was at like 4:30, 5 o'clock. And we're like, okay, we can try to hit that. And then we were looking at the sky, and we're like, I don't know if this is just clouds or if it's going to pour. And we walked here, and I've got an open brown paper bag with my stuffed animals in it that we've purchased already. So, I mean, we might have been able to have them held at guest services, but then if would I have remembered to go back and pick them up, I don't know. So it's me, anything's possible. But, so we just decided to just do SeaWorld because they had a ticket sale price that you couldn't pass up at the time. I just wish that we had had the good camera when we went, so now we have incentive to go back with the good camera. We got some pictures with his phone, but I really want to take the good Canon digital camera with us. And plus, you know, we had the dogs with us too, and at the time there wasn't that many, if any, dog-friendly Disney-specific properties. Now I think there's Disney partners that are dog-friendly. I think the Lowe's partner ones, I believe, are dog-friendly now. But traveling with our guys was tough, because they were not, they were well behaved to a point, But Zuzu has severe separation anxiety to the point now where if we don't, and even sometimes when we do tell them that we'll be right back, he will just start howling. If he thinks, like, a couple of times that my dad had to go to the ER recently, so Russell drove him, and I'm in our room. The dog's in my parents' room, and my mom stepped outside to smoke. He lost his shit, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, what is that noise? Like, I was just hearing this, like, whoo, and I'm like, what is that? Like almost like tornado siren level shrill, and I'm like, but it was like almost like it was stuck, and I'm like, what the fuck is that noise? And then after like almost a minute, I heard the pitch change, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I got up and looked in the other room just as a stubborn butt was taking a breath to start howling again, and I'm like, sir, you're not alone. I'm in the house. I'm in the other room. What is your deal? But he thought he was by himself. He didn't think anybody else was home. He thought my mom left, even though she was standing on the front porch. And I'm like, sir. So we couldn't leave them alone in the hotel room. Someone had to be with them. Because I think the one time that we traveled without a dog handler with us, and we both tried to leave the room at the same time to go grab food or to go do something, just downstairs in the lobby of the hotel. We weren't going to be gone but like maybe 15 minutes. We got like 3 hotel rooms down the hallway, and Zuzu started howling, and I'm like, oh fuck. So I had to go back and sit with him and just tell Russell what to go get me, because he couldn't come with on that adventure, and I'm just like, really, buddy? Really? So he can be a bit of a pain sometimes. He certainly makes things challenging. Like, I told you we'd be right back. But yeah, like I don't think, no, I've never was to Epcot. The last time I set foot in Disney was for my 10th birthday, the same trip that we went to SeaWorld with. And I told my mom, I said, I don't even know why you guys took me to Disney, because I remember us doing like I remember us doing Small World. I remember us doing some other weird water boat thing, but I don't remember what it was. I don't necessarily think it was Jungle Cruise. If it was, they weren't as snarky with the jokes then. Or maybe me being 10, they all went over my head. Who the fuck knows? Maybe I just remember being bored.
May have also just been a bad play for it.
Yeah, I don't remember much. All I remember is like lush leaves all around and being on a boat and just being like, are we done yet?
Okay, that's definitely Jungle Cruise.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember like lots of leaves. I think we might have done 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, because that was a ride then. I think you like went down in the little like submarine thing. That's all I remember about the Disney side of it. And then I remember my mom trying to make me come over and stand with the characters to get pictures, and I was not having it. I was painfully shy. I was 10, and I'm like, why are you doing this to me? I just want to do the things. Like, I was not there for the characters at all. I was actually kind of I don't know if scared's the right word. I was not feeling this whole, oh, get the autograph, get the photo with the characters. I don't know. I was a very weird child. I wanted nothing to do with it. I was painfully shy. I'm like, why? Why are we doing this? And I remember there was a section that was like kind of set up like little storefronts, but they were for like little kids. I don't know, was there a Toontown in Walt Disney World at all at one point?
At one point there was. I don't know.
That might have been what that was. Because there was like these bright, obnoxious, like pink fake awnings on fake facade buildings where you could like get like a little picture under it. I think there's a picture of me somewhere. I wanted to go on teacups. The line for teacups at the time was ginormous, and the line was like out on black asphalt. It didn't look like there was any shade on it, and my parents were like, no, that line's too long. And I'm like, really? But I want to do this. They didn't want to get on it. That's all it was. Neither one of them. I'm like, why did we come if you're not going to get on any of the rides that I want to get on? This is dumb. So I just remember being mad about wanting to get on some of the rides and being told no. It wasn't that it was a height issue, it was that they were refusing to get on there. So I mean, yeah, part of me is curious about seeing like the changes and stuff, but I've also looked at the park ticket prices, and I'm like, my budget just doesn't allow for the curiosity right now. Maybe someday. Maybe. But we both enjoyed our time at SeaWorld. We could move at our own pace. It wasn't obnoxiously crowded. There's a few attractions that I understand a little bit better now. Like, we thought that the penguin thing you had to watch a movie on. It turns out you might not have. Like, the way the thing was happening on the outside of the building, it was kind of confusing for that. It's like, I don't want to get on the attraction, I just want to go see the penguins. But it might have been just the way they were doing it, and we just didn't understand. But I'd love to go to SeaWorld at Christmas and see all of the Christmas lights and things, all the trees decorated and stuff. That would be fun. But I'd also like to go to Key West at Christmas too. But that's some big big buckaroos right there, and I'm like, yeah, that ain't gonna happen. If you can even find a reservation, because like all the hotels, like some of the bed and breakfasts and stuff along Duval, they do like a lighting competition between each other and things, and I'm like, oh, that's so much fun. And I think they were doing like night tours where they were driving past all the stuff lit up, and I was just like, oh, I want to do the thing. But that's some serious cash there. But yeah, we're kind of, we have like a bucket list going. There's a ton of aquariums and zoos I'd like to go see. Like, one of the zoos that I had on my list, I don't know if Russell had realized it at the time, was Zoo Tampa, and I wasn't sure because like the map for where it was located like wasn't really conveying that much about it, and I had looked at the website a little bit, and I'm like, well, it's in Tampa and we want to go to the Clearwater Aquarium, so maybe we could like stop in here as well. Don't know how long we'll be there, but I'd like to stop in there. And I was kind of looking at the entrance ticket fees, and I'm like, that's kind of a lot. Like, is this, like, how small is this zoo? Because the name made it feel like it was a small zoo. Like, I think it was Lowry Park Zoo at Tampa or something. It's like this like long thing that kind of made it sound like it was a smaller thing. And then people just started calling it like Zoo Tampa for short, and I'm like, okay. Well, he started watching this, I don't even know what the fuck streaming service he's watching it on, because one of our friends lets us watch their Disney Plus, and I think one of the family members has Paramount Plus or something. I don't know. There's a couple different ones that we have access to, and there had been a zoo series on one of them that was for the Bronx Zoo, and he was watching one of those when he went to bed the other night, and I thought it was the Bronx Zoo one that he had been watching, or there was another one in Australia that he had been watching. So I thought it was one of those two. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, these keepers don't look familiar at all from the other series. Like, what zoo is this? And then I finally saw or heard them say Zoo Tampa, and I'm like, huh? So then I started paying attention a little more. That property looks huge. Yeah, this is really bucket list. You likely won't get back to it. Yeah, I mean, I'm so sad that the prices for that are just so much. And they keep raising it and stuff. And you know they're just dicking around with people. And I'm just like, really? Like, I don't know how people can afford to just repeatedly go unless you, like, live nearby. Because I'm just like, wow, that's like a one and done type deal. And like some people make this an expedition and go like every year for Christmas and stuff. And I'm like, how do you afford this? Like, how? I know how much our Key West trip cost, and we went a little extra on that one because it had been so long since we had been. And I'm just like, I think it was our first actual vacation and since our honeymoon, and it had been, we got married in 2007 and we went in 2018, so it had been a long time since we had even been able to go on a vacation. And we kind of went a little souvenir happy and stuff, and his mom kept telling us to buy it or go do this or go do that, and we're like, are you sure? Because she was paying for stuff, and she's like, yeah, and we're like, okay, you're the keeper of the budget. This feels weird, but okay. And it would have cost less if we hadn't had the dogs with her or if she hadn't been with us. And you know, we drove, so we didn't fly, so that also was added hotels on the way there and on the way back. We didn't, I mean, I think we stayed at a Red Roof one night. That was okay. 'Cause, you know, we had to find specifically pet-friendly hotels, and not all Holiday Inn Expresses are pet-friendly, which is where we prefer to stay. But, you know, I don't know. I feel so bad for these families. I'm like, how are you being even able to afford this? You've got two adult ticket prices, and then you've got like 4 kids, and you're taking them all to Disney, and I'm just like kind of like adding it up in my head, and I'm like, how? Staying on property, I'm like, you either got a really good deal through a travel agent, or you are part of some kind of like reward points, there we go, for a credit card where you've been banking points or airline miles or something, because I can't even fathom the cost of airline tickets right now. I'm just like, really? Oh, for real, I'm one person and it's crazy. Oh yeah. And I'm just like, wow. Wow. Like, my boss, well, not my boss, but, well, I guess, the craft store, when I worked for them, the store manager at the time when I first started there, he then became a district manager. He was married to the office manager in that store. and her father owned he was the primary owner of the chain. I think there was a partner, but he didn't have as much stake in it. But, I don't know. I don't even know how they lived day to day. I don't know how much they were making, because they lived in one of the more ritzier barrier islands. She had 7 kids. Plus, I think she had another 1 or 2 in the time that I was working there. And every year it was nothing to just go down to Disney with all the kids and stay on property, and then they were bringing gifts back for people that had, you know, covered shit while they were gone, and I'm just like, wow. Do you understand? Do you appreciate that you can just do this every year without blinking and flinching? And I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. Like, they weren't like, it wasn't like a religion thing. She just had that many kids. I think it was 6 from her first marriage, and then she had gotten divorced, and then she had 1 with the dude who was the store manager that she married, her second husband. And then she had a second one with him, but there was all kinds of, like, medical issues. I remember they had a stroller with, like, some kind of, like, little heart monitor or something on it. There was medical equipment that they had on the little stroller that they had in the office when they brought the kid in. But, it was just wild, and I'm just like, maybe you have enough now. I don't know, it was like that they were trying to make sure that there was going to be more employees to run the family craft store business or something. It was wild. I'm just like, I can't, oh, my insides hurt even thinking about 1, let alone 6, 7, 8 kids. Plus they had 2 nannies that I think lived with them. And I'm like, how much money are you fucking making being an office manager at the craft store? Like, there's gotta be other shenanigans afoot here, because I'm just like, there's no way. It's like, I'm making, what the fuck was I making? I was making, when I left there, I was making, was it $9.50 an hour? And I was just like, wow. When I had transferred to Pennsylvania for a brief amount of time, and that was because I was working front end and doing cash office. When I had transferred to Pennsylvania, I was making $8 an hour. And when I transferred up there, the original store was telling me they're talking about giving you a cost of living raise for changing locations. And I'm like, okay, cool. They said, we don't know how much it is yet. They still have to review your hourly rate and stuff. And I'm like, okay. I get up there and they're like, yeah, so we didn't realize you were making that much, so we're not going to do a cost of living raise after all. And I'm like, $8 an hour is not that much for what you people want me to do. So I was really pissed off when I found out about that. I'm like, let the fuckery begin. I'm like, really? You guys charge more in taxes up here than I did back in Jersey. So after I had to pay federal income tax, I had to pay state income tax, and then I think there was also county tax as well. And I'm like, the fuck? And you're not gonna give me a cost of living raise of like even 50 cents? I was just like, wow. Oh my word. It was eye-opening, and I wish I had known that ahead of time, because I would have been like, oh, I don't know about this now. I was like, it's expensive to live up here. It was very expensive. Like, where I grew up in South Jersey, there was like a grocery store. You went to ShopRite. That was the grocery store. Up there was like 3 different grocery stores of different levels, and you could definitely tell which grocery stores were catering to which how to word this nicely,
socioeconomic groups.
Okay, we'll go with that. You could definitely tell the different levels of pay of the customers that they were catering to. I loved the nice grocery store, but the prices were so expensive. Now, to be fair, this was in an area that was a little bit more ritzy, and there was a lot of like pharmaceutical companies in the area. Lots of like research labs and stuff, so I guess the pay of the professional jobs, the degree jobs, could handle it. And I really liked the nice grocery store, and at the time the roommate and I were swapping who was buying groceries for that week, and it seemed like a lot of the time when it was her time to pay, we went to the cheap place. And then on the weeks that I had to pay, we were always in the more expensive one, and I'm like, okay. But it was just wild. Like, we didn't have grocery store choices where I was from. It was this. And that was where you went. Like, it just amazes me to have more than one grocery store option. Alright, what time is it here? It's 6:30. Are they done?
Oh yeah, they've been done.
Okay, I didn't know if they were still dicking around with seconds and thirds and all that. Kitchen is not that big. Once you get 2 people out there trying to get stuff done, if a third person tries to come out there and is stumbling in between 2 others, it gets a bit messy. It's cold in here, yes?
A little chilly, yeah.
Okay. Not sure if it was me or not. I was hot with the other shirt on, and I took that off, and now I'm freezing. My legs are cold more than anything. I might have to switch to different pants here. Alright, so I think this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna pause here for tonight. For now. You have a few grocery stores around to choose from. Yeah, like we didn't. It was one and done. Here we have 2, and you can definitely tell the difference in prices. Well, I guess technically there's 3. There's the Walmart Supercenter. There's a Walmart Neighborhood Market. Technically they're both Walmart, but one's like just groceries. The other one's everything. And then there's a Harps grocery store. Though I'm not a fan of the Harps grocery store we have. I've heard other people talk on Facebook where they're like, oh no, these other locations are so much better than this one. We don't know what this one's deal is here. This one's like not a good representative of the chain, but it's down the street and it does in an emergency when we need to run and get something. So, we got the other half, well, we got the cabin wall in. This looks like it's leaning forward more on camera than it actually is. So we're working on getting the ground in, and I'm trying to keep my angles here. It'll be more necessary to watch the angles when we start coming back in with the snow and stuff. So tomorrow we'll pick back up working our snow lines in here, and I might like start the snow line maybe up in here, or maybe be flat around here, and then start dropping it down in with the different snow colors, just to try to make that look a little more stable up in there. But so that's what we're gonna do tomorrow. Tonight I'm gonna try to come back later, maybe around 10 p.m. ish, maybe 11ish, and get another round of zoo in. But I do have some things I have to do first, like dinner, dishes. I have to do an article for the website. So that's the tentative plan. So either make sure you've got notifications turned on here, or follow me on Twitter, because I do try to post on Twitter when we're about to go live. And we've got all of the other socially things down below that there's links of. If you've missed a live stream and you want to catch up, you can find those archived on the YouTube channel. And they should all be on their own playlists for what we're doing. So, you guys, if I don't see you later tonight, have a good night. I hope to see you tomorrow. If I don't, I hope your Monday's good. Hopefully we don't get all this snow on Tuesday. And take care. Take a break. Get some food. Get some beverages. And I will see you later.